Dosto, welcome to chapter 20 of my program Interesting Facts and Quotes. Today I'll take you through 25 interesting facts and 5 interesting lines. But before that, kindly subscribe the channel right now by pressing the red icon and also the bell so that each time we upload a video, you're automatically notified. And here we go. 1. Reading the tea leaves. I'll repeat, reading the tea leaves is an idiom that comes from tasseography, a fortune-telling method, which is the practice of telling someone's fortune by reading a splotched or a smeared substance. For example, everyone says things are going great guns for our company, but if you read the tea leaves, you'll see trouble ahead. 2. Wear one's heart on one's sleeve. I'll repeat, wear one's heart on one's sleeve. If you wear your heart on your sleeve, you openly show your feelings or emotions rather than keeping them hidden. 3. Make short of. I'll repeat, make short of. It means to complete or consume quickly. For example, the children made short work of the ice cream, or they made short work of cleaning up so they could get to the movies. This term, first recorded in 1577, in effect means to turn something into a brief task. And the idiom is short work of. 4. 70% of all English words are Latin or Greek words. 5. Originally, Hindu simply meant people beyond the river Sindhu or Indus. But the Indus is now in Islamic Pakistan, and to make matters worse, the word Hindu did not exist in any Indian language till its use by foreigners that gave Indians a term for self-determination. Hindus, in other words, call themselves by a label that they didn't invent themselves. In any of their own languages, the alternative to Hindu could have been Sanatan Dharma, says Shashi Tharoor. 6. Who is flying the kite? Who is flying the kite? The egoistic person says, I'm flying the kite. The breeze says, I'm flying the kite. The tail of the kite says, I'm flying the kite. The string says, I'm flying the kite. Where life says, child, we all are flying the kite. In the ultimate analysis, it is the teamwork that is flying the kite. 7. It's time to vote. If turnout increases, it is believed people are unhappy with the government, and that's why they are turning out in large numbers to vote, to express their anger. If the turnout decreases, it is believed that people are unhappy, but since the opposition has nothing concrete to offer, they have decided not to turn out to vote. So either way, there is a logic. 8. Political analyst Milan Vaishnav, who co-authored with Devesh Kapoor a book on political funding titled Cost of Democracy, says India's election this time can cost up to rupees $10 billion, much more than the 2016 US general election, which saw a spending of around $6.5 billion. 9. The $19 trillion plus American economy hosts a post-spending of around $6.5 billion, and the $2.7 trillion Indian economy may host a post-spending of around $10 billion. So you can see the difference. Even if you measure everything in purchasing power parity and not exchange rate terms by PPP, India's economy is roughly half the size of that of America, so the comparison still holds with as much force. 10. The Cathedral of Notre Dame was built 850 years ago. 11. It was only in Notre Dame cathedral, the coronation of Napoleon, and the canonization of Joan of Arc took place. Here, a special mass celebrated the celebration of the Nazis, the liberation of the Nazis, liberation from the Nazis. I am extremely sorry. I'll repeat this. It was only in Notre Dame Cathedral, the coronation of Napoleon and the canonization of Joan of Arc took place. Here, a special mass celebrated the liberation from the Nazis, and the bell named Emmanuel was rung to mark the tragedy of 9/11. This is where France came to cheer or to mourn. 12. Oxfam's latest wealth report points out the 9 richest Indians own as much wealth as 50% of the Indian population. 13. The first European power to implement a meritocratic civil service was the British Empire in India. 14. 2018 was the 4th hottest year on record, and this year 2019 could beat that. Arctic sea ice continues to disappear at an alarming rate, and sea level rises are threatening island nations and low-lying areas. In India, 2018 was the 6th warmest year on record, and all the 6 warmest years have come only in the last decade. 15. A man goes to buy a national flag. A man goes to buy a national flag. The shopkeeper shows different sizes of the national flag to him. Then the man says something to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper is shocked to hear that. Can you guess what was it that the man said to the shopkeeper? He asked without thinking, "Can you show me some other colors of the national flag?" Friends, this is what happens to absent-minded people. So try not to be an absent-minded person. 16. It takes a contingent of 30,000 strong international media to cover Olympic Games function, with events spread far and wide. 17. A house insurance costs just rupees 6 to 12 per day. However, only less than 1% people who can afford it have house insurance. 18. Ayurveda is a 6,000-year-old science. 19. Liquid biopsy being tested in the US may soon become a boon for cancer treatment. 20. Delhi has more than 5 lakh manual rickshaws on its streets. Of these, less than a fifth are licensed, and 80% of rickshaw pullers continue their back-breaking labor by paying hafta to the police that amounts to rupees 10 crore per month. 21. Europeans began to wear underwear only in the 17th century when they discovered soft and affordable Indian cloth brought by the East India Company. Friends, I read this somewhere. 22. With a 5,000-mile coastline, India has historically been a great trading nation, and in some periods commanded as much as 20% share of the world trade compared to 2% today. It always had a positive balance of trade with the world until the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century England, when the mills of Lancashire made our handloom textiles technologically obsolete. 23. 80 richest people own more wealth than what is owned by 1/2 of the human race, and very soon just 1% people will own wealth which will equal what the rest 99% would have. 24. Food amounts for almost half of the consumer price index basket of India. 25. 6 crore small entrepreneurs employ 12 crore people in India. And now, friends, some interesting lines and quotes. 1. You should teach your children that the soil under their feet are the ashes of their grandparents. To respect earth, you must tell your children that the earth is full of the lives of our ancestors. 2. Just because you do not take interest in politics doesn't mean politics won't take interest in you, said Pericles. He was a prominent and influential Greek statesman. 3. When a man understands the art of seeing, he can trace the spirit of an age and the features of a king, even in the knocker on a door, wrote Victor Hugo in his famous novel The Hunchback of Notre Dame. 4. The economy grows mostly at night when the government is sleeping. 5. I had been the author of unalterable evils, and I live in daily fear lest the monster whom I had created should perpetrate some new wickedness, wrote Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein. So friends, that's all I have for today. Kindly share the video